Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Enjoy English School. I'm Bruce.
I'm Anthony.
Now, this is day 2. Yesterday, we started our 2-day lesson in the celebrations section of your magazine. We introduced the Italian Carnival, is the way they pronounce the word. And we looked at why they do it and where it is practiced, especially in the city of Venice. We were talking about that at the end of yesterday's program. Today we have more information about celebrations.OK,
接下来呢，我们要跟各位继续昨天的话题。我们昨天介绍到了这个在这个意大利的狂欢节 Carnival， 然后特别提到了威尼斯。虽然说威尼斯的狂欢节是他们当地最有名的，但是光是要提到值得一提的这些活动呢，绝对不只有威尼斯一项。所以说在这边的话，我们今天要继续跟各位介绍其他有关的活动。
Okay, let's take a look at the beginning.First paragraph, first sentence. If you've been to one carnival, you know pretty much what to expect. Food, drink, grand floats, and excited crowds. Now, I was thinking yesterday during our program, but we didn't have time. Most of you have seen a movie, at least one, that featured Mardi Gras,that great party that the city of New Orleans holds every year. And it's the same as this Lent. Before Lent, there's a great big party because during Lent, the Catholic holiday, 你要很乖. You cannot eat too much. You're not supposed to play too much. You should be more serious and thoughtful. But before that, there's a big party.And there's another one down in Rio de Janeiro. They call that the biggest party in the world. That's also before Lent. So you may not realize it, but I'm sure you've seen pictures or some movies or television programs took place in either the American city of New Orleans or the Brazilian city of Rio de Janeiro.
老师刚刚提到那个 Rio de Janeiro 就是里约热内卢。那在巴西的里约热内卢呢，因为他们在南半球，所以他们是夏天，很特别的。他有想说2月应该是冬天吗？没有，他们是夏天。在夏天2月的时候，他们也会有这样子的一个活动。所以 Carnival 不只是在这个意大利也有，那在许多其他地方，像巴西啦，你都会听到这样的活动哦。
Right, New Orleans was founded.By the French, when that part of what is now America was a French territory.
那老师刚刚提到另外一个地方呢，就是纽奥良。纽奥良本身那个地方是很多法语的人士在那边慢慢聚集，所以它的那个 Mardi Gras 其实是 Mardi 的意思就是星期二 Tuesday， 那 Gras 的意思就是油腻的、肥滋滋的，也就是说，在你开始要那个禁食大斋节之前，那段时间都不能玩，也不能吃得太好、喝太好，前面就要好好的享受一番。所以在不同的地方，在那段时间里面，在即将要进入那种节衣缩食的那40天里头，前面大家都会大吃大喝的狂欢一番。
And that's why the first sentence says, you know what to expect. Lots of food, wine, beer, floats. I don't know how to describe this even in English, but they're a lot of fun to look at. And excited crowds, like for New Year's in New York City.New Year's in Taipei around 101. The crowds are just full of energy and joy. That's an excited crowd. Help me out with float.
Float 就是花车的意思，就是你有看到很多那种花车上面可能有跳舞的人啊，尤其像里约热内卢啊那边的那个巴西的那种疯狂的嘉年华会，他们就会有很多很有名的一些主题花车，然后让出来像游行一样，超级酷。你有机会上网去打这个 Brazil， 然后 floats， 你有机会就会看到非常非常多影片，他们花车这样一个个出来，上面有各式各样的雕塑，或是各式各样的一些那种装饰，很多的花卉，还有上面有舞者在跳舞，非常非常精彩，而且非常非常看得真是目不暇接。
Okay, let's continue. They're fun. I think you can tell from the way we're describing this that it's exciting. It's a great thing to do, very pleasant. But they're also predictable. So we know there will be floats. We know the crowds will be excited. We know the people eat and drink too much and have a great time. That's what's predictable.Predict
这个字本来的意思就是指预测，那后面加上 able 就变成是可以 predictable 是可以预测的。虽然说今天哇，你没有参加，也许没有参加过这边的这种嘉年华会，但你只要去过任何嘉年华会，你都知道说啊，一定有美食啊，有花车啦，还有这些有趣的这种充满兴奋之情的这种人群啦等等。虽然很好玩，但你也可以期待大概会有这些东西。
Let's continue.For something more special, visitors may want to visit Ivrea for the Battle of the Oranges, which is exactly what it sounds like. So you know if you go to Carnival in Venice, what to expect, but there's something more special. This is not predictable. What is it? Visitors may want to visit Ivrea. That is a place name.Probably a town. For, why go there? For the Battle of the Oranges. Wait a minute. Which is exactly what it sounds like. Huh? Let's see. When I first saw Battle of the Oranges, I thought in Spain there's a...
La Tomatina.
Holiday. They throw tomatoes.
Yeah, that's right.
And here, I guess, they're going to throw oranges.
没错，所以在这边的话呢，你就看到了，他说For something more special, visitors may want to visit Ivrea 一个地方 for the Battle of the Oranges. 我们之前刚好有机会讲到的 La Tomatina， 在去年的8月的时候，我们特别提到，因为那时候刚好是 Tomatina 的那个年节嘛。那在这边的话，我们碰到的是 for the Battle of the Oranges， 我们想见你可以晓得说，这是一个柳橙大战，我们用不同的水果来做武器哈。所以在这里的话 ，which is exactly what it sounds like。那它的这个活动也像这个名称一样，就知道是用柳橙来当武器互 K。
Okay, before we talk more about the Battle of the Oranges, let's take a short break. Okay, second paragraph. During Ivrea's Battle of the Oranges, the city selects 9 teams. Well, we can imagine a team is a group of people, of course, very often for athletics, but in this case, it's going to be more like a group of soldiers.
OK, 所以在第二段第一句话呢，他提到说 During Ivrea's Battle of the Oranges. 老师刚刚看到这个 battle 就会想到这个soldiers， 也就是我们军队的。他说 The city selects 9 teams， 这个 team 指的是团队，大家会想到是 athletics， 也就是那种竞技式的那种运动比赛项目等等。
So the city chooses or selects 9 teams, not of soldiers, but of city residents. They then go to war with one another. Of course, they don't really go to war, but there will be a battle. How?By spending 3 days throwing oranges at each other. I can only imagine this.
我觉得很妙，要怎么样去判定他的胜负啊？哈，所以他这边这句话就讲说 ，They then go to war with。当你讲 go to war with someone， 或者是甚至后面接的是一个国家，就是对那个人或是那个国家开战 with one another by spending 3 days throwing oranges at each other。好，就是在这接下来的3天里面，在拿着这个柳橙在互 K 来决胜负啊。
OK。It's estimated.That the event uses up over 250,000 kilograms of oranges each year as rival teams fight it out. We estimate it really means to guess, but it also means we have a pretty good idea, but we don't know what the exact number or amount of something is. That the event, Battle of the Oranges, uses up or takes over 250,000 kilograms is the same as 250 metric tons of oranges each year, every year. as rival teams, the teams of players here. Now, rivals means that they are competing. We're going to beat you. We're going to win. They are rivals. Fight it out. Now, they're not fighting with their hands, but they're fighting with oranges, which could be worse.
Yeah, 没有错哈。所以这边的话，他说 it is estimated 就是估计，它可以估计到什么程度呢 ？The event uses up 好会用掉呢 over 250,000 kilograms。老师刚刚有稍微换算成这个250公吨，而且是 metric tons， 好就是那种标准的国际公制的这种吨，好就是1000公斤的这种概念哦。Of oranges.Each year as rival teams fight it out. 所以他们在那边 K 的你死我活的时候，整个每年会用掉这3天，你们会用掉一共差不多25万公斤的这种 oranges 这样子的柳橙，这样 K 来 K 去的。
And most people don't have a good idea of what a ton is, but a small car, not the big car, a small car is about a ton. Imagine 250 cars.On one side of the scales, and then oranges on the other side. It's more than you can eat, and it's even more than you can imagine.
没错。所以像如果一台车这样比较好算，对不对？你可以想象一下，一个很大的一个天平放在旁边，一边呢是放250辆车，另外一边呢是放这么多等量重的橘子。你可以想那个量有多大，对不对？可以想象一下，真的很多，还会用掉这么多的橘子来打这个柳橙大战。
All right, let's continue and find out the history of this event. The origin of the event goes back to the 12th century. Well, we're now in the 21st century, so there's 900 years of this event. Now, we say 900 years ago will be the origin or start of the Battle of the Oranges.
好，所以接下来这个 the origin 就是起源 of the event， 这整个这个节庆活动的起源呢 goes back to 可以追溯到，你可以讲 goes back to or dates back to，也都是很好的写法。date 的话就是 D-A-T-E， 在这边配合的那个第三人称，所以这个地方我们会讲 dates back to。Goes back to 可以追溯到 the 12th century， 也就是在12世纪的时候。好，在这里的话可以追溯到这么久以前，900年以前。
According to legend, and when you see this, it means we don't really know, but people say that a cruel marquis, cruel is not a nice guy at all, and marquis is a minor kind of royalty, not the king, not a prince.A much smaller area, and he's cruel, he's very unkind, tried to violate a miller's daughter whose name was Violetta. That's a nice Italian name. And you can see an English word in here, violet, and we do use violet as a woman's name. If you violate someone, that means you have sex with them, but they don't want to have sex with you.So this is the same thing as rape, R-A-P-E, R-A-P-E. A miller is a person who grinds with a huge stone that turns around. It's very heavy and it grinds grains like wheat or rice or oats.OK,
所以在这边的话，我们看一下这里面主要的这个里面内容哦。According to legend， 老师刚刚提到 legend 这个传说，就基本上这是一个故事，这样一路传下来，我们不知道它的真伪，但是是有人这样子传送下来的。根据这个传说呢 ，a cruel marquis， 这个 s 的话其实是不发音的。好，在这边的话，其实很多时候你可能有听到有人讲 marquis。然后会加 s， 我听过人家说 Marquis de Sade, for example, that's the origin of the word sadism. Yes. 所以像这里的话，他有人会听到 Marquis， 但是我自己我听过 Marquis， 因为这个字来自于法文，它的 s 是不发尾音的，就是一个侯爵，他非常残暴 ，try to violate 的就是去性侵。 别的女生，那对方呢不想要跟你那个，但是你一直要去性侵对方。A miller's daughter， 这只是磨坊主的这个女儿。Violetta， 这是一个意大利文常见的一个名字。那个地方他提到 miller， 就是一个很多如果说在磨坊里面，就是把这些谷物摘下来的，把它磨细了，变成我们可以吃的这些稻谷。这个就是磨坊主做的事情，就发生了这样的一个残暴的事件。
To defend herself, Violetta was not going to let the Marquis have his way with her, as we say. She killed him.And started a revolution. This means after the Marquis died, who will take his power? And they were very happy that she protected herself. She defended herself. Her action started a revolution, and people, they burned his castle to the ground. Eventually, finally, they were fighting.The Marquis and his soldiers, they won, and they were so angry that they burned down his castle.
哇，所以这边后面 to defend herself， 为了要自己保护自己，对不对？就这个勇敢的少女呢，就居然一下子情急之下把侯爵给杀掉了 ，and started a revolution， 而且并且因为这件事情引发了一整场革命 ，in which his castle was eventually burned to the ground。最后呢，一把火呢就把这个城堡，这个侯爵的城堡一下烧了，夷为平地。
Okay, let's take a short break, and then we'll come back and finish today's lesson. Okay, our last paragraph.The 9 teams are all on foot. That means they're standing, walking, maybe running, but they're not in cars. They're not on top of a wagon or something like that. On their feet.
Yeah, 没错。所以这里的话呢，他们这9组人马，就是9个这个要互相互 K 的这些队伍呢，都是要步行的，没有任何什么马车啊，或任何交通工具可以帮助他们。
The oranges they throw...Remember, it's a battle of oranges, take the place of old weapons and stones. They're not using weapons or stones, although an orange could hurt a lot if someone throws one at you. But they represent these older weapons and stones, which were probably used when the people who were happy about Violetta protecting herself...They used real weapons and stones to start their revolution and destroy the Marquis' castle.
Yeah, 所以这边的话，他这句话说 The oranges they throw， 他们所丢的这些柳橙呢 represent 就代表了当初在那个时候他们所使用的一些武器啦或石头啦，去推翻这个残暴的这个侯爵所使用的这些武器。
These are the teams on foot. They target, they aim, A-I-M, they aim at, if you use aim, you have to add at, the people in wagons. There are people who are also battling, but they're not on foot. They're standing in wagons, and they stand for the Marquis' forces. So you have people on foot who are the common people.And then you have people standing in wagons. They're higher up, and I'm sure they have oranges too. And they're throwing at each other. I want to see this.
对啊，太酷了。所以你可以想象到，他们2队的话，一队是负责当平民要推翻侯爵的，另外一队呢是坐在马车里面，他是代表侯爵的那一方，然后2队开始对打。这边的 they 指的是当那些平民的人 target the people in wagons， 那他们要去拿这些柳橙瞄准那些坐马车的人，当然马车当然就是侯爵那一方啦。Who stand for 代表着 the Marquis forces. Marquis forces 就是代表了侯爵那方的势力。
The food fight can get pretty rough. This means serious. As I say, an orange is quite thick and actually pretty heavy considering the size. It's bigger than a tennis ball and a lot heavier. So if you throw that and hit somebody, that's going to hurt. And so there may be minor injuries are quite common. It's not surprising if people get hurt, but nobody dies from this or becomes permanently disabled. They can no longer use parts of their body, something like that. But ow!
没错，所以这个地方 the food fight 这个地方如果要念的时候，你要讲 the food fight， 重音要放在 food 前面。The food fight can get pretty rough. 好，这打到后面会很粗暴，对不对？ With minor injuries being quite common. 意思就是如果你不小心被 K 到，受点小伤也是常见的事情。
So, people who are only watching, that is, not the people in the food fight, but the people who go to enjoy watching this battle, they wear red hats. Why? They show the people who are battling each other that they are not participating. They are there to enjoy watching the battle. Don't throw an orange at me is what the red hat means.
没错，在这句话里面不妨可以帮我把这边开始框一下。So people, 好，开始咯。Who are only watching 把这4个字用这个框框把它框起来吧。所以这个地方的真正主词是 people， 然后后面真正动词是 wear。那 who are watching 就是 they are bystanders， 他们只是在旁边在围观的，所以不要浪费你的这个子弹，也就是这个柳橙在我身上，不要 K 我啦。好，意思是这个意思。So people who are only watching 在旁观的人呢，他们会戴上这个 red hats， 会戴上红帽子 to show that they are not participating。 我只是观战哦，你不要 K 我哦，这样的感觉。
Okay, Anthony just used a great word, bystander. B-Y-S-T-A-N-D-E-R. One word. B-Y-S-T-A-N-D-E-R. E-R is someone who does something. They stand by, not stand in.
没错，他是围观的，我是路人，不要 K 我，这样。
This way, by wearing the red hat, everyone can enjoy this unique carnival event. And the people who don't want to get hurt, don't get hurt.
没错，用这种方式的话呢，你就可以置身事外，对吧？不用再参与这个战事。That way， 这样一来的话呢 ，everyone can enjoy this unique carnival event。大家都可以尽情的享受这种独特的狂欢庆典。
Okay, that's it for today's lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. Join us whenever you can. Till the next time.
Bye-bye.